Hello, welcome to the Square Base Show. We are your hosts, and today, ladies and gentlemen, the High Elves will return to the old world.
We're getting high.
We're getting high. High Elves. Whoa. So we're
getting high elves.
This is not a react. Well, I guess this is a reaction to the High Elves being released. The preview, we were up. We live streamed it on Twitch on the Honest Wargamer. But now we're here to make a more condensed, thoughtful, and respectful video about the High Elf release coming up. Arcane Journal, miniatures returning, new miniatures. If you are a fan of hoity-toity, white and pointy little fellas, then...
Did you workshop that? Because that was good.
I don't think it was. I can't hear myself speak, so I don't think it rhymed.
That was very good. I think we generated at least one T-shirt an episode, so that was fantastic. Excellent.
Okay, we're in. So we are going to be talking about, before we do you have a feeling that you've got before we dive into the nitty-gritty of it, Val? And also, everyone who's watching this video back, in the comments below, tell us how hype you are, scale of 1 to 10. High Elves as an army, or High Elf as an army, to you, how impactful is this, or how big a deal is this for you?
For me personally, or for I guess both. I'll leave my comment after the show, I guess.
No, for you.
For me, actually, I think High Elves are sneaky, probably one of the big power franchises. That might be clouded a little bit by just the sort of, for whatever reason, the Eldar/High Elf effect of just always being good in the game. Mm-hmm. So they've always seemed to be very present and represented amongst players. But also they're like a adjacently human faction. So they're pretty relatable. And I think this range particularly has, I would say, the best plastics from that fantasy had to offer.
Old.
Old fantasy had to offer. Just in the sense that they're just really nice kits. And I'm glad to see them all coming back. And I have to say, the studio did a very nice job getting these guys prettied up for their return to the main stage.
Absolutely. I would also say that several of the plastic kits got released just towards the end of Warhammer Fantasy Battles lifetime. So we did see a kind of definitely a rounding off of some of these sculpts, and I think that's why they hold true so well. But I also feel like these are maybe even, I don't even know if it's more, I think these are more classic than Empire, because Empire's humans, you get it, but when you see the High Elves, you're like, that's the other race. This is high fantasy. This is the one.
Yes, and it just hits on a lot of levels, and they look they're fantastical and really good. The only kit I think that doesn't hold up is maybe one in the battle box. But yeah, no, I'm really excited for this. I think this will bring a lot of players out of the woodwork. I think I don't want to make any commitments here, Rob, but I'm going to make a commitment that I'm sure to follow through on. But that Seaguard, that Lothern themed Army of Infamy, that calls to me. So I hope they do a better job with this Arcane Journal. And remember, we've only really had 1.5 misses, I think, with the Arcane Journal so far. I think that's important to remember. That really we just got half of Warriors of Chaos was pretty lame, and then Empire seems like a bit of a bummer. But aside from that, these guys have really done a great job with adding cool flavor via the Armies of Infamy. So hopefully they do a wonderful job with these.
Absolutely. I think also there's a great question mark around that. Was it the Arcane Journals, or was it the structure of the game at the moment to play? All right, so let's kind of break this down.
Both.
We're gonna read through the article, because some stuff in the reveal video, then they didn't have as much in the reveal videos. They did actually in the article. So I want to make sure we don't miss a single thing. So I'm going to read through it as we go. We're going to talk about each element of it. But again, anything we get wrong or anything you want to add, comments below, that really helps.
Write us up.
Yeah, please do. Far from the war-torn mass of land, colloquially known as the Old World, lies the magical land of Ulthuan. Yeah, this is the home of the High Elves, the favored children of the Old Ones and foremost enemies of chaos. Despite many hard centuries, this glorious civilization is still near its peak of its lofty powers. Martially disciplined and magically accomplished, the High Elf realms are prideful to a fault. They view the other races of the world as more than a hint of derision, but continued nevertheless to mobilize their armies to tame the spread of chaos. Their armies are elite, with warriors of superior skill and sorcerers of great puissance, and they are now ready to set sail and wage war with a plethora of miniatures, old and new. Right, so the Battalion and the Arcane Journal. The superior armies of the High Elf realms are built around a core of dependable troops, recruited from the citizenry of Ulthuan. I think that's not technically true. It's actually around 2 dragons, but I digress. The Battalion Box contains 66 miniatures with which to lay your gleaming foundations. There are 32 Elven Spearmen, 32 Elven Archers, and 2 Tyrannok Chariots, which can be made into Lion Chariots of Trace. Both infantry options come with enough command options to split your units in 2 if you wish, and you get a new High Elf Realm transfer sheet containing 356 transfers.
Yowza.
So, Battalion Box. This is kind of the big question a lot of people love throwing around. How do you feel about the Battalion Box?
As the game stands right now, not great.
Okay.
Just because, I've been getting some DMs about how we're always ragging on infantry. But, infantry and missile troops do have a place. They're just probably a little understated. That being said, we've seen with all of these releases, the Battalion Box is a good place to start, or can be. And then the regiment boxes, like the actual boxes that you get for the other units, especially if they're in plastic, are like just a bucket of minis usually. So you don't even necessarily need the big discount off the Battalion Box. You could probably start with a core of other boxes and still get into this game a lot cheaper than others. So I would say meh on the Battalion Box, just because of where things like core like missile troops and just generic spearmen are these days. But cool to me. I don't think I realized that the chariot was a combo kit. That's cool.
Yeah. Because sometimes you could use the lions for other bits, right? Like if you built the Tyrannok chariot, you could use the lions as unit fillers in a white lion unit, as an example. That's like a fun little addendum thing. I personally am actually quite excited about this. Also because I think we're going to see like a Tracian themed army, which I think which they do talk about later. So I think that's be super cool. And to me, this is iconic. Like whether or not, obviously, I think from 3D prints especially, you could probably get better high elf sculpts. Also, Games Workshop themselves, the Lumineth stuff is pretty cool. Would it rank up? The spears probably not. They're really awkward. But it's very cool. So there's definitely better sculpts out there for some of these kits. But seeing them painted up by the studio is giving me a big Member Berries nostalgia boner, and I'm loving it.
You're saying, yeah.
Like I don't know why. I don't know what it is about High Elves specifically. Maybe it's just because I do feel like they're iconic. I feel like they're the iconic army.
They're great. They look so good on the table. They're really good. I think also this is also an army where they didn't mess with, I think, the sort of the default paint job. They kept that blue and white as the display box paint job, and I think it slaps. So that's probably why it looks great.
Really good. Right. So then the Arcane Journal, High Elves, 48-page book covering the history of the Elves of Ulthuan, rules for 2 armies of infamy, the Tracian War Host and the Sea Guard Garrison, alongside special characters, new units, and wondrous new magic items. Val, Trace, the Lions. Do you have much info in the way of like what we're talking about? High Elves isn't a single collected kingdom, is it? It's a bunch of regions.
I mean, from my very vague understanding of how they break down, yes. My vibes base understanding, yes. They kind of remind me of the way the Eldar are, in the sense that there are different sort of castes of things. And as far as I know, with the White Lion guys, if you beat a lion to death and kill it with your bare hands, you get to wear him for the rest of your life, and then carry a really big axe. That's I think the Coles notes of the situation.
I think you get given a lion cub as a small boy, and then you raise it, and eventually you must murder it with your axe to eventually become a white lion. It's kind of much darker as a as a story. No, yeah, obviously the kingdoms of the High Elves
That
are
would be
broken.
way better if that's the fact.
Yes, I don't think that's what it is. The kingdoms of High Elves are ruled by different lords, and they've all got their own, effectively lineage. These guys are the dragon guys. These guys are the shadowy misty guys. And so getting white lions is very cool. I assume that we might see. I think we might be able to see white lions as individual, maybe even beasts. Like a beast unit of white lions could be a cool thing to see. You might see, you could see.
We have way to fire.
Yeah, that'd be fun. I think you could do some cool stuff. But then the thing you're excited about is the Seaguard garrison, right?
Yes, I like those. And well, I don't want to spoil it, but I was a little worried when we were doing our live react that we wouldn't see the Seaguard come back. But maybe they are coming back. We'll have to see.
Yeah, they definitely are coming back. Yeah, for sure. This will be cool as well because there's a special character that's coming along with the Seaguard garrison as well, at least one, and then which also features on the cover art. So, how do you feel about the cover art of this book of the Arcane Journal?
I've loved the covers, like all of them, a lot. This one,
really?
I would give this one a fine. I would give it a fine.
I think this might be my favorite. That's crazy because I don't even love High Elves. This is crazy. I love this.
So first of all, you've literally only talked about how much you loved High Elves so far and how it's really tickling your pickle.
Oh my God.
Maybe you're repressing it. Maybe you're repressing it and you just can't resist this artwork of these intrepid Seaguard looking out into the ocean at what?
Yeah,
probably supposed to be. Yeah, what are they supposed to be looking out at?
This is the other side. This is the other side of the. I think these are 2-page. These are. I wonder if you get the books side by side. They're like both looking at each other, right? I think that's what the situation.
I think they are supposed to pair off. Yes.
Yeah.
I think the High Elves were supposed to pair off against Warriors of Chaos. I'm not sure. I'm looking at the Empire Arcane Journal right now. But yeah, they're looking out at something and. But yeah, in the previous preview, the High Elves were apparently delayed. So I think they were supposed to have been the first one out of the gates and then Empire. So, but yeah, I don't know who these guys are squaring off against.
Okay. Well, there's also a dice set and a reference card pack. Ooh. And a lavish standalone High Elf Realms transfer sheet with magnificent iconography. So a bunch of icons there, which is cool for the transfers.
I mean, there is nothing more aspirational hobby in my life than me like looking at a transfer sheet and thinking of all the amazing things I would do with it, and then just putting it in a drawer, maybe an envelope, never using it ever. But yeah, these transfer sheets have been quite hype. And if the full because there's this full transfer sheet that comes with that you can basically buy separately, and then in the regiment boxes, there's usually a simplified transfer sheet that they do as well.
Yeah.
And that's actually I think in Canada anyway, I think they're $40 if you want to buy like one of these transfer sheets.
Whoa.
And if they're in the battalion box, that's some added value in that battalion box, guys.
That's a lot of cash money.
With a printed piece of paper.
I wonder if anyone has ever used
like a fool. I will continue like a fool to buy the reference card packs. I bought them all so far. I'm an idiot. I do not recommend this to anyone. They are not very useful.
But at least a moment of history. A moment of history,
yeah,
at least.
A moment of time. I'm sure they will be relevant for years to come. Decades even.
Sure. All right. Now, first up, we get an amazing new mini. Wildlands of Trace are tainted by chaos. Its creatures walk by the winds of magic that rage in Ulthuan. And the elves of this realm are warriors by necessity, each a consummate woodsman, hunter, and bedecked in furs, claimed from savage mountain lions. The Lord of Trace is a paragon of his realm, adorned with a lion cloak, armed with an axe and sword, and he wields a consummate grace. Made from forged resin, he's an ideal pick for a high elf lord, a Tracian honors, or as a Tracian chieftain, exclusive to the Tracian war host. Sir, what do you think of this miniature? Chat, commenters, what do you think of this miniature?
A very cromulent set piece here. Very high elfy, not overdone. A haughty pose. Haughty. I think it's haughty. Haughty. You kind of looking down the barrel of his nose at whatever thing is charging at him, not even getting ready to hit it with anything particularly fast. He's cool. He's got this on lock. I like him. I don't think there's a single one of these that I haven't been like, that's a nice miniature, you know? In the age of STLs, we are inundated with things, and yet still these simple single miniatures produced by Games Workshop. I don't know, maybe because of their elevated position, they get a little extra benefit. But I don't know. I think he's perfectly cool. I'd probably pick him up.
Yeah, I think he's ace. Like foot characters and their role in the game aside, I think he looks great. Very cool. Obviously, like fits into the design aesthetic really nicely. It's nice to see that modernization as well. The gems are still really relevant, all of it. I mean, I'm looking at a brand new High Elf miniature in 2025. I'm kind of stoked, to be honest. I'm like, oh my god, yes, because there's still loads of room.
But you don't really like the High Elves, though. I mean, it's not good for your brand,
dude. I like Old World, so that's my that's my problem.
That actually is so true. I think we've said that. Like, it's hard. It's the Old World's hard because I am at least a little bit in love with every army, except for maybe Beastmen. But like, there's no army that I can't be like, man, I could probably I'd like that. I could do this, that, and that. It's fantastic for my ADHD impulsiveness. But yeah, this guy's quite nice.
Yeah, he's very nice. And now talking about new models, Ishaya Vess, the Sentinel of the Silent Isle. So the High Elves ply the seas, one of the grandest navies in existence, singled out by the Sea Lord Aeslin for their unwavering discipline and fearsome fighting prowess. Ishaya Vess has been named Sentinel of the Silent Isle, granted the responsibility of commanding a coastal garrison in the defense of the sacred homeland, armed with the trident of Mathalan's ire. Vess is happiest when leading the unit of Lothar and Seaguard into the heart of battle. She's made of forged resin and is a linchpin of the Seaguard garrison. Okay, this miniature.
Was that blurb a Tinder profile?
She's also free and hot. But too good for you.
Happiest with leading a unit of Lothar and Seaguard in the heart of battle. That's pretty cool. Now, eye patch, sick. Just also charging off, especially since she'll probably be in a unit of Seaguard. It'll kind of look cool to me because she'll be the one breaking ranks because everyone's very very like monopose and upright, but she's just like breaking ranks, charging off. Like, that's kind of cool to me. Top knot up for days. She got her bow on her back. I really like her. I'm buying this one for sure.
So I don't like this as much, to be honest. Like, I can completely see why other people would like it. Obviously, I've seen a lot of Sea Elf based stuff in the Idoneth range, which might be a great place to pick up some additional stuff if you do want to do the Lothern Sea army. There's some really cool like octopus stuff and some cool additional things, which is really fun. But it looks great. Looks cool. Looks fun. Like, it's just not necessarily for me, but I love Lothar and Seaguard, so there we go. Maybe I'm just a hater. Right, now we get on to, maybe I'm just hating. So now we get to the units that are returning, and again, let us know what you think of this particular mini. Get on to the minis that are returning. We got the Yyan Reavers are returning. These are an older kit, but still sick in my opinion.
Yes, absolutely. And this actually answers a question I had, which was the Isle of Blood thing. Because the Yyan Reavers, the Swordmasters of Hoeth, and the Seaguard all came out, I think, was that the 8th edition box? It was, anyway, they were packaged with Skaven. So they were, from what I understood, intermingled with Skaven bits on those sprues. So I was like, well, what are they going to do? And the answer is they retooled it. So they created units that stand on their own now. And maybe they took an opportunity to tweak a few things. I'm not sure.
Yeah, so it does say here, Yyan Reavers are young nobles who rove the wilds of the province of Illyria, skilled light shot cavalry, swift as a scouring gales. The new kit is heavily influenced by the miniatures found in the Island of Blood box set, released way back in 2010, though comprehensively resculpted for the new era. So are we talking about just a full new Yyan Reaver kit? Dude.
We're going to have to... Well, we'll have to see how true that may or may not be, if only because they did tell us that we had brand new horses for the War Wagon, and they were just the horses off of the Luminarch and other things. So maybe there's more going on here. These were like mono pose push fit kind of kits before, So I think I would have to enhance to be able to tell if there's a lot going on. These guys still look fairly repeated in their poses, but I don't know the kit well enough to be able to comment how different it actually is.
So I know the kit quite well. I would say, like the people in the chat are saying, the detail looks way better. But the problem we have there, though, is we're also getting modern paint jobs on these as well. So they look very different. So we'll have to come back to that. They look really, really good. Don't know if that's a paint job or if they are new sculpts, even though it does say resculpted. If they're legit resculpted, this is super exciting. I'm going to just say it. There's definitely some resculpting, because there's also a command group for the Swordmasters as well. Okay. Returning plastic kits. Okay. The High Elves have numerous returning plastic kits.
Can I interject one quick sec?
Yeah.
One thing that I'm surprised about in general is just with the background given there for what was her name? Aisha?
Yeah.
Ishaya. She's grounded in Ulthuan. And I was kind of expecting that the armies of infamy would be more more old world bound. And like one of the trading outposts of the old world, but these guys are literally grounded in Ulthuan. So already sort of that scope of this is just about this very specific place in the Border Princes, where they have on the big map all of these icons around for high elf settlements and things. I thought that would be reinforced, but it's not. So these are Ulthuanian elves. They're not the folks hanging out in the old world, which is kind of an interesting thing.
That is super interesting. Yeah, definitely. I think you are like suspicious about some like lore rewrites, and I'm kind of suspicious too. But anyway, that's for a future conversation. High Elves have numerous returning plastic kits. Iconic Lord on Dragon returns to be built either as High Elf Lord or Archmage, mounted on Moon Dragon or Star Dragon, or Dragon Mage mounted on a Moon Dragon. So these are going to be popular as hell, right?
Oh yeah, these have already sold out, guys.
They're sold out.
These have already sold out. It's done. Yeah. But what do you think of this dragon? So this was one of the only modern dragons. I guess there's also the zombie dragon for Vampire Count's got a sort of a modern dragon. And there's also obviously the newest dragon, the bone dragon. How do you think this guy holds up, especially when you're comparing him against stuff that AOS got?
Oh, when you compare it, I was say of its time, it was fine. I built one. I don't think it holds up nowadays, personally. I think it's cool. I do think it's cool, and the paint jobs made it look really cool. But yeah, I don't think it holds up. I think that there are infinitely better dragons that are out. But yeah, if you'd have asked me at its time, I'd say peak. And I do like the design it has. That more kind of like thinned down, kind of like East Asian kind of like dragon style.
The wormy dragon style, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's super cool. But nowadays against some of the other dragons, it does not hold up. That's just the truth. I mean, how can it? It's what, 20 years old? 15 years old?
Oh wow, yeah, thereabouts. It'd be thereabouts.
So
it'd be somewhere between 2010 and 2015.
Yeah, so I don't know how it could possibly try to hold out, right? Like, especially with technology, it's moved on so fast. But it's still cool, and when I see it on the table, I still think it's ace. And I've seen some painted up when people have played here in Nottingham at the TSN Arena, like where I work. So like, it looks great. And I'm no shade. Yeah, and I like
it a lot. Also, the little baby dragon on the
adorable
base is pretty cute.
Adorable. And also, one thing I think the Phoenix holds up. I'm willing to. The Frost Phoenix a bit derpy with the random snowflakes on it, like it's a school project. But I like both of them, and I think they hold up quite nicely.
Yeah, they. Not so much in the rules. These guys were terrors in 8th edition. The Frostheart specifically, not the
Flames never been good.
Never been good. And in Old World, well, we'll do a deep dive and we'll see how they actually hold up these days. But is that a Phoenix Guard guy on the Phoenix? I guess it must be.
Oh, it's an Asurian.
Really cool. I like that rider.
Yeah, it'll be a Phoenix Lord, right? Like that's what it'll be mounted on top. Or sometimes it's a Lore Master. Am I making that up? Anyway, maybe I'm making it up. So then we've got other returning kits. As Master of Equestrian Tiles may have many cavalry options, the Dragon Prince of Calidor are back, Silver Helms are back as well. So they show off a bunch of stuff here. So we've got some wizards returning, which is super fun. Like I always, and these are from the Island of Blood kit, some of these sets. The guy on the rock, the Elf on the rock, maybe one of the most bombastic kits of all time. Maybe the best tactical rock that's ever been done. Maybe the first and best.
The granddaddy of tactical rocks. And oddly, I don't recognize the mounted mage. Maybe I've just never seen him before. But
that was a kit that you didn't get in the Island of... Yeah, you didn't get in the Island of Blood. You got that separate. You got that separate.
Yeah. Yeah. This might be, this must be a combo kit, these plastics. I'm not sure. I'm out of my depth here. These both, because there is that Island of Blood guy that there's like, I have like
that's
16 of.
Yeah, that's a different guy.
And the BSB and mounted Lord is a great combo kit. Those are fantastic. Much better than the Empire one, in my opinion, because such weird haunches on the Empire guy who's not on the horse. Mm-hmm. And then the Lore Master of Hoeth is one of my favorite miniatures, I have to say, just because of the Hadouken.
Oh, really?
I think he's cool. I think he's really, really cool.
Yeah, he's a vibe for sure. I really like the mounted Lord, definitely. Then we go back to see, yes, Dragon Princes are returning. Then we also see Silver Helms are returning. Yeah, the Silver Helms are a good example of looking at what the horses look like compared to the Illyrian Reavers, because these do not hold up very well. These suck, in my opinion, the Silver Helms.
Yeah, these are, but they're also, they would be barded, so they do have more stuff on them. So they are a different horse, fundamentally. Dragon Helms, I feel like
Dragon Princes.
That is indeed Dragon Princes. Like really hold up.
They really hold up
to me.
Yeah, I think they really hold up.
That's a stunning unit.
Then you got Lothern Seaguard. The Lothern Seaguard look. They look redone, dude. I'm saying it. I'm calling it. They look redone.
I mean, they look fabulous. I really love these guys. I remember when they came out in a White Dwarf in metal. I think like when they originally came out, and they had the bows on their back and the spears. And I just thought they were so cool. And the serpent on their shield, very, very cool. I love these guys a lot. No, no, these guys are. I'm hyped. I'm hyped for, and also how many? I think I counted them last night. I can't remember. 15, 30, 31 of them, right?
Yeah. I think there's a redo, and they look amazing. Wow.
They look really great.
Phoenix Guard returning. Also, listen. Before you decide you're going to go buy some Phoenix Guard, I need you to know, as someone who's built a lot of kits, it's one of the worst kits to build in the history of time. Maybe only usurped. by Ghost Swarms. These suck. So be careful before you buy these, because they are awful to build.
Good to know. Good to know.
Really bad. Also, we're seeing returned our Sword Masters. Will they ever get 2 attacks? Who knows? It's a great question. White Lions also returning as well. Then great also, kit. Sisters of Avalon, which is a kit that absolutely holds up, I would say. Also, the Shadow Stalkers also hold up. I'm
really curious. I called this out yesterday. I'm really curious to see what the Sisters of Avalon, because they have this like box to show the alternative side of them, rather than just 2 of them. I'm really curious to know if this is a box of 10, because it's sort of like randomly they just like short one of the regiment boxes. Like demigriffs, for example, costs like 3 demigriffs cost the same as fucking, I don't know, 2 like what is it, 14 Empire Knights that you get in the box.
Wow.
Because you only get 3 of them. And in this one, for whatever reason, there's only 10 of them. And that seems strange. So I wonder if maybe there's actually 20 and it's blocked, but this would be a very small box if that's literally what it is.
Yeah, it's interesting. Okay. And then we've got the return in do not hold up, I would say, Spearmen and Archers. They do not hold up at all. unfortunately.
Yeah.
But thankfully, you're probably not taking them.
Yeah, these are definitely some of these are the oldest plastics that are coming back for the High Elves. They never got the redo. I guess that's kind of what the Seaguard were in 8th edition for them. Yeah, these guys are pre-CAD, kind of contemporaneous with some of the other core kits, like even the goblins that they brought back. Very similar situations. So not the prettiest, but also, I mean, not the absolute worst at all, in my opinion.
Yeah,
the Spearmen look pretty derpy to me. I don't like. I like the Archers more than the Spearmen. I'll say that.
That's fair. We also were seeing the return of the Skycutter.
Oh my God!
It so difficult to transport, so difficult to put together. Whew.
Sell those stonks. Sell on the Skycutter, guys.
Okay.
The Skycutter was one of those kits that was just like incredibly coveted for whatever reason in resale for years and years. And I guess because it was bad and no one bought it, and then it didn't go to AOS.
Yeah.
I guess that's
it
correct,
did go to AOS for a bit.
It did?
Yeah,
Okay.
It became part of for a while, the Skycutters were part of the mail delivery service in the realms. They literally became the postman from the Kevin Costner movie, The Postman.
That's kind of sick. That's kind of sick.
Yeah. So whenever you see a Skycutter, we call him Kevin Costner. Which is the bolt throwers return. I don't think these hold up, but that's fine. You don't need them to. Plus, also they make a sick Lumineth bolt thrower if you want one. Not sure it'll fit on, but it looks great.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
So they're back, and then the chariots are also returning. Metal kit's returning. Now we did get these leaked, but we got two. We got Handmaiden, the Ever Queen, returning, and Corhill Lionmane, the greatest elven warrior in all of Ulthuan, is also returning as well. It feels weird to have the Handmaiden, the Ever Queen returning, and not the Ever Queen. Is that am I being too paranoid there?
It's interesting. It's interesting, and this was a speculation that I had when we saw the Corhill leak, because a lot of people are wondering too. What about Tyrion and Teclis? But are they gonna show up? Ilariel, obviously a big character that could show up, but doesn't look so far that they are. We won't know until we know. But also Corhill, like bringing him back with that model and standing him next. And then standing him next to the very sexy new, Shrayson guy. Why wouldn't they have just resculpted Corhill? Doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, I don't know why we would get a cooler lion model and then get the old. But I guess people just want them, right? The handmade model looks great. Okay, Arrant Elves aren't the only reveal for the old world as well. Maybe we could cover the Beastmen as well. But High Elves returning. We've got two different armies of infamy. Do you think this will be? I mean, old world. I think it felt like Empire was hype. A lot of people were very excited about it, but maybe the launch was a bit of a damp squib. Obviously, there's loads more to talk about. We'll cover those in other videos. But for High Elves, at least, do you think this is going to hyper accelerate more people jumping in? This is I especially our YouTube comments. A lot of people have been like, when High Elves drop, I'm there. I think this might get up.
I think, yeah. No, I think this is one of the last big onboard moments for Old World. Aside from other things that have been hinted at. Just considering that there are some big heavy hitters that are currently in the Renegade / Legends column, specifically Vampire Counts. There's Skaven. There are some really, really big Lizardmen. There's some massive factions that were probably the core of the player base that are just not included in the 1.0 of Old World.
Correct.
So yeah, this is probably the last big onboarding, because Beastmen are cool, I guess. And Wood Elves, I think, are popular because they're usually really good. But I don't know if there's necessarily the passionate devotion to them that you get from the High Elves.
I think High Elves of maybe I'm trying to think through the releases we've had so far. I think Bretonnian hype, but I think this might be the one. I think this might be the army that has the biggest uptick on board. We'll have to see. A lot of modern kits as well, so you're not quite like facing down some like derpy, much older sculpts, which like honestly, I feel in some cases it would have been better not to showcase for some of the other armies. Like that's more of a negative. This I could see people being like, yeah, this is going to be my vibe. So I think it's going to be really exciting. Let us know in the comments below what you think. Obviously, the Arcane Journal, when it comes out, we'll be doing a big old deep review. But before that, definitely plans on doing a deep dive on the current the current Grand Army, so you can be prepped and ready to pick some stuff up. But if someone was saying to you, "Hey Val, I'm thinking about getting to High Elves," what would be the 2 things that you'd pick up? What 2 things would you pick up? Do you reckon?
2 things.
2 things.
Probably Illyrian Reavers and Dragon.
I agree. I agree with that 100%. I'd maybe just pick up 2 dragons, but.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. People want to be able to have fun. You're gonna want at least a dragon, and but the Reavers are just a very useful unit always, and they look great, so can't go wrong.
Agreed. Well, go.
No, and then I was gonna say, and then depending too, if one of the armies of infamy catches your fancy. You can grab a big fat regiment kit of either the White Lion dudes or the Sea Guard, and you probably need 1 box. Like you don't. That's the thing I love about this re-release. It's just you almost get too many models sometimes in those regiment boxes.
I would agree, especially the 2,000 point mark, definitely. All right, well, thanks for tuning in. If you're hyped, let us know. That's the only way we can know that you're excited. If you're not that bothered, again, feel free to let us know about that, because that informs us and let us know what's going on. But either way, I think Old World's I think reveals have definitely made us excited for 2025, as if we weren't already frothy already. So very exciting. Please do stay Square based, and thanks to everyone on the Square Based Patreon. Can't do it without you. Loads of love. See you soon.